Every neighborhood in Seattle is unique, and South Park is one that many Seattleites have never visited. South Park neighbor John Foss and Ilani Casey, enrolled tribal member of the Tlingit Nation, have something to say about South Park.
What I think is unique about South Park is its diversity, its walkability, it's bringing together lots of different people.
Oh, everything. The community, the people, the art, the music, the food. It's such a welcoming, wonderful gathering.
This is a community that I think that a lot of other little neighborhoods in Seattle could emulate.
Just like seeing a picture of a beautiful place isn't enough, what if anyone in Seattle could come to a neighborhood and truly experience it in just one day? Here's Marie Kide of the Seattle Department of Neighborhoods.
The concept of the best day ever is to bring Seattleites, whether they are transplants or folks who are rooted in Seattle, born and raised, together to learn more about not only the neighborhoods that make Seattle great, but also, and in particular, one another.
The first of 7 Best Day Ever events was on March 21st, highlighting the South Park neighborhood in Seattle's District 1. It took place in South Park Hall.
South Park Hall, I consider a primary third place. Just love it. I just blown away how much activity is down here that we can engage in. It's multi-generational. There's just a warmth that emanates out of this hall.
Thank you everyone for being here. Welcome to the best day ever. We are so excited to have you. We have a lot of activities for you today. Welcome to coming into our 100-year-old 1926 ballroom, who gives us a lot of 100-year-old problems, but we're here, so thank you.
South Park Hall is home to Cultivate South Park, run by Melanie Granger and Crystal Brown.
You're now part of the community. Anyone who steps into this space, it is alive. It's 100 years old, like Melanie said, but it really is alive. It has its own energy, and so you're welcomed into the space. That's what this space loves. It loves people. It loves us all being here and creating community connections. So we thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the South Park family, and I will hand it back to Melanie Granger.
How would you describe South Park to someone who's never been?
My description whenever I talk about South Park to people is corny, but so am I, so I don't care. It is like an island. We are separated by river and freeway, so it truly is a little island community. And then also Sesame Street. I describe it, that feeling as a kid that you got from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or Sesame Street, that in the real world terms, right, I see the same friendly, familiar faces every day. And hey, Oscar the Grouch was in there too. You know, we can't pretend that all humans are constantly smiling and in a good mood, but they're all still this collective community that tolerates everything that comes to them and is just there to support each other and be neighbors and connect.
Rosa Garcia is a community engagement coordinator with the Department of Neighborhoods.
South Park is a place that showed me what real community looks like. My strong connection began during the Duwamish high tide flooding in 2022 when the streets were inundated. But what stayed with me wasn't just the water, it was the people. South Park is so much more than a moment of crisis. It's color, culture, and vibrancy woven into everyday life.
This community didn't happen by accident. It was fought for.
Part of the reason there's actually neighbors in this neighborhood is because community advocated for it not to be zoned fully industrial. The reason why for a while Pike's Place Market had produce, it was coming from Japanese, Italian, and Mexican farmers within the neighborhood. And there's still fruiting trees from generations ago of folks who planted those with the intention to feed people. I feel like in its deep roots, this neighborhood is alive itself. We always think we steward the earth, but really this neighborhood has been stewarding humans as well.
The Best Day Ever concept is all about stewarding human connections. Charlotte Massey of the Seattle Chamber of Connection explains.
Yeah, so the 6 points of connection are an evidence-backed framework that people and organizations can use to build a connected life based around research and action rather than nebulous ideas of knowing that we should be more connected than we are.
The goal for Best Day Ever? To move from theory into practice.
So instead of just talking about what a connected life looks like, how can we actually live a connected day and get a group of people together who are interested in meeting new people but may not have otherwise ever connected, and play together, give back together, and really connect one-on-one with each other over the course of a day.
So the technique is always to keep the air inside the dough.
A key element of each event is service. Chef Ruben of Southtown Pie led the group in making pizzas to be given away to community members.
It's like playing with clay, yeah.
When do we throw it in the air?
South Park is only the first of the Best Day Ever events. There will be one in each of the 7 districts of Seattle.
And we're thinking of them as adult field trips. So it's an opportunity to spend a whole day learning about a neighborhood, the amazing businesses that are there, the amazing community organizations.
South Park's Best Day Ever wound down with a walking tour led by the Duwamish River Community Coalition.
Yes, let's go!
South Park is a very pivotal neighborhood because it is aligned with the Duwamish River, which is a representation of the first people of this area, of this region, of this land. When you go to South Park, you literally can walk and be at the Duwamish River from multiple points of the neighborhood.
Man, we got such a beautiful day, huh?
Maggie Angel Cano of the DRCC led our group along the shoreline.
So you might notice that I try to speak up a little when we have airplanes flying back and forth, which happens every single minute. Right. So we have a lot of airplanes passing through us. For many, many years, this valley was known as the dumpster of Seattle, right? Which we're standing right above the designated the Superfund site. Anyone know what Superfund means? Yes.
Really polluted.
Yes. Pretty much very polluted, yes. It's very polluted to a point where EPA was like, this one is bad enough to be cleaned up. All these plants that you see, most of them are native, and they're very important for salmon. So salmon come down through the Duwamish River going into the Puget Sound, and this is one of the stops they make. Salmon is also one of the only things we could consume from this river. So it's really important that we take care of this site.
As the tour came home to South Park Hall, the group paused to celebrate the river at the heart of their neighborhood, full of the warmth of connection on this Best Day Ever.
I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and we all say Duwamish. And with that, we're going to have a good spirits for the river and for our community, okay? 1, 2, 3. Duwamish! All right, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Gracias.
This is my message for the South Park community. A la comunidad de South Park, gracias por abrirme las puertas y el corazón. Gracias por su fuerza, su alegría y por crear un lugar lleno de cultura, de vida y de unión. Sigamos celebrando, cuidándonos y construyendo juntos.
What do you hope people who attend a Best Day Ever event take away from the experience?
I hope people take away from the experience that they live in a very diverse and beautiful place, and that we often find ourselves siloed in our own neighborhoods, missing out on the beauty and the joy. Seattle's not a huge city, landscape-wise, geographically, but it tends to be segregated. A lot of people tend to never leave their neighborhood and never have the opportunity to experience the vastness of the city that they live in. And we invite people to be explorers in their own backyards.
This is an audio story by Civic Sound Productions, produced by Christie Robertson, with funding provided by Department of Neighborhoods for community storytelling to share the unique experiences of Seattle residents, help build strong communities, and improve their quality of life, and uplift the people and organizations doing this work on the ground in their own neighborhoods and communities across Seattle.